All right. What's up? I think we're here live with live trading. Rhett, did you send the link to our Discord? Okay, just waiting for that audience to build. Today, our top picks we're trading is UNH, Wolf, and BZAI. Those are the top three picks. Trying not to pay too much attention to what the market's doing. What we do is pick individual stock alpha, despite what may be happening at the index level. So, waiting for me to open. Okay. Rhett, you there? All right, we're live. So, anyway, UNH, our number one pick of the day. We've been holding this since last night, including the levered ETF, UNHG. A lot of us picked up some calls on this dip over here. Holding our breath a little bit. It's a little bit scary with what's going on with the QQQ, but we're sticking with our thesis and our next price target of 326. So 326 is the next price target we have here for UNH. Wolf, we'd like to see that break 930. Looked like it was getting off to a good start to do that, but it held beautifully. 812 to 830 support, and this candle did it right there. We called that support out as it was declining. 812 to 830 support. All right, so UNH, Wolf, and then BZAI. BZAI with a beautiful earnings report, but more important than earnings report is completely debunking or completely allaying any concerns, I should say, of the short thesis, which means this thing should re-rate back to where it went when they got that $120 million contract. It could take 2 to 3 days for this thing to head back towards the 200 DMA at 580, dropping a little bit. So, meaning the 200 DMA. So maybe the target will be about 550. I think we can get that re-rating over the span of 2 or 3 days. So that's another top pick. Support at $4. On this one, on the morning note, we said if it drops below $4, you don't get stopped out. You buy under 4 on any of those stop losses that may hit. This is a great buying opportunity under $4. If that happens, I doubled my position right at $4 earlier on this drop over here. So man, QQQ's scary, isn't it? QQQ's scary, but our top 3 positions are holding their own. Also monitoring Kiev. We think that could do well later today. Rhett, you there? Can you join me? It's busy.
I'm sitting here talking to you, and I'm all behind the stage.
Okay. All right. So, guys, if you can help build our audience out there, if you're watching on X, make sure to interact with the tweet, like it, comment, retweet. Let's get the audience built up here. Pew had bad earnings, new 52-week low. Let's look at the earnings list for a second from yesterday. These are the 3 standout ERs. It was BZAI, Evolve, and UAVS. All the other ERs sucked. I told you that this morning. And look, they're continuing to not do well, the rest of these ERs. So let's go to top picks here once again. That's it. I'm super focused. And here's another buying opportunity on BZAI. BZAI 396 by 403. I think this is going to pay you big over the next few days. All right. 20 DMA support there right at 395. These are the top 3 picks. Top 3 picks of the day. All holding their own, all doing better than the indices here. UNH, Wolf, relatively speaking, at minus 2%, compared to up 60% yesterday, holding its own there. BZAI, these dips getting bought up as they should be under $4. Let's see. I have a little bit of intel, not too much. I do have a decent sized position in Cypher. Made a little bit of money on that yesterday on the sympathy play with Wolf. tell you the truth, I'm anxious to get rid of this just so I can focus on the top 3 picks here and have a nice clean account focus on these top picks.
Yeah, these UNH calls they move really nice.
I don't know, right? I think I'm just gonna hold the UNH calls. I said
Yeah,
that
I'm
before.
holding mine at the moment. I'll let
I'm
you
gonna
guys
hold
know
it.
when I
We were
exit.
both on the same page. This daily chart is ridiculous. Like the levels are so clean. It's such a clean, easy chart to read, man. What's the top of this? 317. So 317, 322, 326. Yeah. What's this double top here? 322, kind of. Yeah, I think I'm gonna hold this. I'm gonna try to hold this entire day. And Wolf, look at that comeback after we called the low here. 2 pennies. 812 to 830 was the support we gave you live right here on the show for our Discord members. And that just bounced beautifully. And I was calling it out live when we were there. I already had my full position, so I couldn't add. But I'm like, if you're not in it yet, you want to buy it right here in this support range, 812 to 830, already popping up big. Same thing with BZA, 398 to 4. You want to buy these levels. I shouldn't say it like that because I can't tell you what to do. I could just tell you where. I'll just say I think it's a good. This is support. I'll just call it that way. 395 to 4, major support on BZAI. 50 to 6, 550 to 580 over the next few days. QQQ bouncing back nicely.
Whoa, missed that.
And I think that's what's helping Wolf to come back as well.
Yeah, QQQ, that was a nice bounce. So
that Wolf is coming back, man. I doubled my position in Wolf earlier. Where did I do that? Hold on a second. Let's see what price I got on that doubling of the shares. WLF. Oh, okay. At least I'm up on that. I doubled to 858. I wish I had waited, but what was that message that just happened? Did Trump just say something? I saw a notification. You know what? This is I think Trump just said something. I had a wonderful talk with the highly respected president of Belarus. The purpose of the call was to thank him for the release of 16 prisoners. We're also going to release 1,300 additional prisoners. Our conversations are a good one. We discussed many topics, including President Putin's visit to Alaska. I look for it. Okay. All right, fine. So, yeah, I really think a ceasefire would actually help push markets up. I don't know. Am I wrong about that? I might be. But except for defense and drone stocks. I'm taking some off the table on Wolf here because I'm oversized and I'm in a profit on the additional shares I picked up. So shaving some off over here. Our top picks of the day doing well. BZAI is underperforming the other 2 top picks here. But this is a strong support level at 4. I also have call options in BZAI, by the way. Which calls do I have? Let me see. BZAI. I have September $4 calls I picked up yesterday for 44 cents. They're now 45 by 60. So that's something to look into. Our call options there on BZAI.
We're dipping back down.
Guys, please give us some love on X. Also, our Discord members, if you can, go interact with our posts, hit the like, comment. Even if you don't have any followers, I always hear this. I don't have any followers. It doesn't make a difference. Yeah, it makes a difference to the algos, okay? If there's a post that has likes or comments, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. It helps to spread the word. So, and get higher up in the algos. So go ahead, please find your X link. Let people know about this live stream. We'll be here till probably at least 11:30 a.m. Okay, so another hour and a half of live trading, and we're going to talk to an interesting company about a crypto treasury VERB. Very interesting. The stock's been doing great since it was announced, so that's coming up in 20
with the
minutes.
incoming CEO.
The interview is only with the. Is it the SPAC? This was a SPAC, right?
It's with the incoming CEO of VERB.
Right. Okay, but it was a SPAC.
I don't think so.
It wasn't a SPAC, but they're changing the ticker. It's a complete. What kind of transaction was this? Complete the company will become the first and rebrand. Oh, it wasn't a SPAC. They just did a private placement and they're rebranding the company. Is that what's happening?
I believe
It
so.
looks like it was not a SPAC. Okay. They're just changing the ticker symbol. All right. So we'll talk to them about that. All right. Wolf looking good. Our top picks outperforming. I did take a speculative DJT bet. It's so far not working. I thought, well, we'll see. It's not too late. Script hasn't been totally written yet, but I was predicting we'd break the 20 DMA today based on multiple catalysts. Didn't happen yet. If we break the 20 DMA, target of the 50 DMA could come as quickly as today at 1850. So something to think about there, but that's speculative. What's less speculative is UNH, Wolf, and BZAI, which is why they're our top 3 picks. All right, beautiful. I see some people retweet quoting us and things like that. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, whoever did that. I got a notification now.
I think that was me.
No, it was someone else. It was Billions Saved. Thank you, Billions Saved, for liking that post, guys. Everyone, please. We got also Fell Court Consultants reposted our post. Thank you very much. Venkat and PK liked our post. Keep those interactions coming, guys. It helps us strengthen our community, which is very important for everyone involved in our community. So, in any case, let's see what we got here. Wolf, man. That's a brilliant comeback in Wolf. Look at this V-shaped recovery. Holy smoke. It's a race. You know, the race is, we had a hard time picking what the top pick of the day would be because we felt we had 3 really good ones in UNH, Wolf, and BZAI. And we just couldn't decide. We made it like a 3-way tie. Technically, UNH was listed first in our document, but BZAI is underperforming the other 2. That's the question. Guys, I want you in the comments right here. In the comments, put in which stock do you think will outperform today, UNH and Wolf. And when I say outperform, I'm talking about the open to the close, right? So from the 9:30 a.m., all right? So you can see UNH is up just a little bit, right? From the open to the close right now. Wolf is actually up significantly, so it's easy to choose Wolf, right? Because they're ahead. But the day's not over, and everything is going up. So make that prediction now. Put it in the chat. Which one do you think will outperform today, UNH or Wolf? Our top 2 picks of the day, along with BZAI. All right, let us know which one you think will outperform. Wolf, I might have to sell a little bit more because I have a lot. Let's see. Wolf. I'm at a 10% position. I'm going to sell a little bit more. Take it down to like an 8% position. Right here. Now, if this breaks 930, it could go like insane. It could really go insane if Wolf breaks 930. We're talking dollars higher. Dollars. 30% short position. Put those votes in. We got to vote for UNH, Wolf. All right, guys, keep it coming. I like these comments, guys.
There we go.
We have a couple votes for Wolf. We have a vote for UNH over here. Man, did he love that? Did he love this call right at the bottom? On this candle, I'm like, you buy it now if you're not in it. If you're not in it yet, 812 to 830 is your support right there. And I said, I already have a large position. I can't add more, but buy it now if you're not in it or if you're underweight. That was a freaking wild call. By the way, I did the same thing with Wolf yesterday. Called the bottom. If you remember, Rhett, that was crazy. It was tedious. It was tough there at 50.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was amazing. And then I'm like, if it breaks 770, we're going to hit new highs of the day. That was beautiful. I mean, I called Wolf to the T yesterday. So maybe I'm right about moving dollars higher if you break 930. All right. It's 10:12 a.m. We want to get a nice audience here to hear the story of VERB. So actually, let me now put VERB at the top of the list here. We got a repost from Gatewatch. Appreciate you, Gatewatch. VERB. Doo-doo. Okay, so something interesting's happening there. You can tell by the chart. So that interview's coming up at 10:30 a.m. By the way, we've had a lot of banger interviews. We picked the companies really carefully that who we interview. You can see Sinestech. We've had an ongoing engagement with them for a while, and the thing has been like a 4 or 5 bagger since we got involved with them. So that's been insane. And then another one recently we've been involved with, not yet an ongoing engagement, but we've done a couple interviews with them in the past, one most recently this past week. But Mob also poised to outperform. And then VERB, all right. By the way, there was a really interesting story yesterday that I really liked, that AI company. It was Fuse. That was interesting. I got to tell you, I actually bought some of those rights. CSLMF. Okay. All right, good. That hasn't done anything. So let me check what the rights are doing. CSLRF. Okay, still an opportunity there. All right, yeah, our Discord knows what we're talking about. Here's another opportunity. BZAI 396. Let's go back to the daily chart. This is your support right here at that 20 DMA. I really believe it's going to hold, or at least it should hold. If for some reason it doesn't, then your support's at 381. Even though I'm overweight, if it goes to 381, I'm going to add more. That's how convicted I feel about BZAI after that conference call last night and that earnings report. Rhett, I need to take a little bit of a break here before the interview.
Yeah, I got it.
You got to do it. You can share your screen if you'd like as well.
Yeah,
I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Guys, appreciate all these comments and interactions on the X. Keep it going. Oh, I see billion saved also shows UNH on X. We'll be back. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Rhett has you now.
All right. Hold on, guys. I got to give permission. Share the screen. Wow. Oh, guys, I can't do it. I got to read. All right. Well, I'll just walk you through it. Just want me to restart the computer to share the screen for some reason. I just added some BZA myself personally right here. I'm still in UNH calls. So it's the two things I'm focused on right now. Let me change that. He's the executive chairman. Hold on, guys. Making this change real quick. So here we go. Making this change right now. Hold on tight. And we'll keep looking at some stuff that is working. And let's go here. Changes. All right. So that should have changed. Alrighty, so let's go back to looking at this. I'm still up 20% on UNH calls. Still able to swing those. It's 30, so that's nice. UNH taking off again. So let me change this banner down here. There we go. Boom. I'm saying lift. Let's check that.
All right. I'm back.
What's happening?
Someone also
Mistake. He's the executive chairman. He is not the CEO.
okay. BZI went right to that support.
Yeah,
381. Yeah, my friend also texted me about Lyft.
Lyft partners suggest steady path.
Is there news on Lyft?
The Lyft co-founders to step down from riding haul firms board.
Thursday, August 14th, yesterday.
Yeah, it's all yesterday.
Intend to step down. All right. Anyway, we're going to focus on our top picks here. All right. UNH, Wolf, BZAI. Here's the dip. I'm going to pick up some call options on this dip. BZAI, I can't add more shares because I'm overweight. I'm not going to do 0 DTE on a day like this. But let me go to September 4s or 445s. The 3s are about, the 3s are not bad. About $1. No, yeah, I think my position size is large enough. I'm not going to add to that. All right. So top two picks are outperforming BZAI, which is also a top pick there. 82 by 384. Let's look at the daily, crossing below the 20, filling the gap here at 381. So we're at gap support right now, man. That's a great opportunity. Great opportunity at gap support, 381. But my position's too big. I just can't. All
right.
Well, hopefully UNH can make up for any losses in BZI today because I did double down pretty hard at $4. I'm down 17 cents on that. UNH starting to pull away. It's going to be a nice race between UNH and Wolf. Sorry, what did I miss while you were away? I know the lift was moving up. Anything besides the lift? Right. Lift, yeah. Izzy, you know what? We're trying to stay. We definitely want to know about the catalyst or someone that's causing this lift move. But we're really trying to stick to our new discipline of choosing a few picks for the day and just focusing on it with laser focus. I mean, people have really been outperforming since we started this new process a couple weeks ago. It's been insane results for everyone who's doing that program with us, instead of getting distracted with other stuff during the day. So yeah, I don't want to get too distracted with lifting at FOMO or anything, because we have some great picks here in UNH and Wolf. Man, Wolf is really looking good to do that major breakout I've been talking about. It's at 61 cents. What's my position size on that? I'm adding a few more Wolf call options for next week. $9. See, but why didn't I do it down here? I was like, nah, I'm overweight. I can't add. Yeah, I made a mistake right there. Right. Oh, no. You know why? Because I'm not as overweight now. Because I sold. That's why. I sold. I was really overweight on commons, and I took a bunch off the table in the 870s that I bought in the 850s. So I'm no longer overweight. That's why I felt I could add more calls here. That's what happened. It was just unfortunate. I was already overweight when we hit that support level. Otherwise, that would have been beautiful. Okay. All right, you still with me? Rhett's busy building that audience. All right, one more time, guys. If you could head on over to our X link, like, comment, repost. Okay, doesn't matter if you have no followers. It helps us build the audience, and we appreciate that. T-minus 5 minutes until the VERB interview. Looks like we'll get started right on time on that. Rhett, you with us? Rhett? You're on mute.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I said I'm here. Just on the back end doing some stuff right now.
Okay.
But I'm still here. Keep trying to pick up whenever it dips, but I keep missing out on UNH.
Yeah, what I'd like to do is bank at least on Wolf. Even though I think Wolf will have a, but I'd like to bit, you know what I'll do. Maybe I'm gonna sell Cypher. I forgot I still have that. I want to raise some capital so I can do more Kiev later in the day. Oh wait, did I sell Cypher? Hold on a second. I may have sold it. 1 second. Oh, I guess I sold it. I don't remember doing that. Hold on a second. I did sell Cypher at a bad price. All right, whatever. All right, so yeah, I'd like to do well here in the next couple hours on Wolf, so I could rotate some of those profits into more Kiev for a late afternoon run.
Yep, got 3 minutes.
Unfortunately, so far, 2 of our 3 top picks are working. AI so far not working. It is holding the support we called out at 381, but not what I had in mind today. 426 is your resistance level it needs to break out of. The RSI looks constructive for that. I guess This might just need a little market bounce for it to work. With IWM down 8.8%, it's a little bit tough today. All right, T minus 3 minutes. Again, ticker symbol is going to be VERB. Interview coming up on that with the executive chairman, Manny Stotz. Or Stotz, I'm not sure. We'll find out.
Let's see.
Intel DJT. Let's check in on those ER winners last night. Evolve hung on its own. Now I feel better about UVS. I bought UAVS at 210 in pre-market and it looked like a good earnings, and then I flipped out at 212, 2 cents later. And I went to 240. Why did I flip out? Just because I wanted to focus on our top picks today. I just didn't want to get distracted. I was like, all right, let me get in on that news in case it pops 30 cents in 5 seconds, and it didn't. It took some time. And so I got out of that and really focused on UNH, Wolf, and BZAI here today. All right, got 60 seconds up. Wow, TEM up 5%. I'm glad I kept that in my retirement account. This Nancy Pelosi stock keeps on going. Wow, what a beautiful move. Ooh. It just broke that 74.83 resistance level. Wow, look at this chart. So gorgeous. Wow, I'm glad I owned
It
it.
is. All right, let's get started. I'm going to hit the countdown, Ben.
Yep.
And I'm going to bring you on.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So stay tuned. By the way, stay tuned. After the interview, we're going to continue live trading. So stay right here. Good morning. We got Manny Stotz, or is it Stotz?
Stotz. Good morning. Good morning,
Manny Stotz, Executive Chairman of VERB. Pleasure to have you here today. Looking forward to learning more about your company. Oh, you know what? Your name is covering your chin over there. Maybe just
Okay.
There you go. Work on that posture. All right. Let's go. All right. So before we get started, I do want to just look at this chart so people know what we're talking about. So ticker symbol VERB technology. Something happens. We're going to find out what. Look at this stock going from about $10, hit $30, pull back at $18. So something exciting is going on with VERB. I have some of the notes here, but let's, I'm going to pretend like I know nothing and make it more exciting for folks. How about that, Manny? So, Manny, you're the executive chairman. Tell me how long you've been involved with this company and what roles until now.
Well, we announced last week on Monday, so this is really the first interview proper, a $558 million common equity pipe. And that is basically pivoting the business to a TON strategy, which is a digital asset strategy. And I know you probably have seen enough of those, so let me tell you why this is different. TON is a layer 1 blockchain that is developed by and distributed by Telegram. You probably have not heard of TON. You probably have heard of Telegram. And I've been basically involved since in TON for something like 4 years. And
Manny, if you don't mind, I just want to stop you for a second. I like to get a little more context before getting into what the actual company does. I just want a little more context about you and your role in the company, historically, when you got involved. Yeah. What VERB was before this deal, just so we have context before we get into the exciting stuff.
Happy to share. So I'll do it in 30 seconds. So I'm an entrepreneur who happens to be an investor. I built an investment firm from 0 to 5 billion called Kingsway. We're based in London. And we got roughly half of our assets in crypto. I became the biggest investor first in TON coin, which we're going to talk about. And then also have been serving as president of the TON Foundation, which is a protocol foundation. And then we basically decided to create a TON digital asset treasury company. And we've decided to partner with VERB doing this. So VERB
Okay.
is what was an Nasdaq listed company before, it still is, right? A very, very wonderful team and business. Of course, smaller scale to what we're normally doing. It was roughly a $20 million market cap company, active in social commerce and in digital, marketing. And so it's a perfect fit actually for what we're doing with Telegram, which is 1 billion monthly active users and the second biggest messaging app in the entire world, and a perfect fit for Toncoin, which we're now adopting as our treasury reserve asset.
So is this kind of like a reverse merger in a way?
Well, technically, it's not an RTO. It is a common equity pipe, which is much faster than an RTO. Speed is really important here, Ben. And we did this in a month, right? So this was an idea, effectively, 6 weeks ago. Now we're basically $1 billion market cap company in Nasdaq from scratch. I mean, of course,
got it. That's cool. So you raised $558 million, and then is the deal? When does that consummate the deal?
It's already done. Yeah, so we closed in record time. We closed last week. We filed for $1 billion ATM on Friday last week.
Oh wow!
So we're not taking prisoners here. We're quite fast here. This to win a Formula One race, right?
It's already done. So what are we waiting for? Because the ticker symbol is supposed to change to ton. When is that happening?
Yeah, that will happen in due time, right? We're keeping the ticker as VERB for now, but we really want to introduce ourselves for the first time to the U.S. equity market, which is hugely exciting for us and frankly for the U.S. equity market and for the world of crypto.
Okay, so regarding what VERB, the legacy business, is that still going on? Is that material at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's not material. It's saying the market cap of the company. The market cap was 20 million. It's now over $1 billion today.
Okay,
but it's still nonetheless exciting because we can give the original business a big boost through our partnership with Ton and Telegram.
Okay. All right. So now we got that context. Let's get into this. Personally, I have never heard of Ton until I did some research on it this morning. But I know Telegram, and Telegram's huge. It's kind of like an economy unto itself. So
Correct.
Why don't we talk now about Ton? We know we've been in our community. We've made a ton of money recently on this Ethereum and all these Ethereum treasury companies. Yeah. It's been really hot. We've been all over it, and it's done well for us. So, maybe there's another opportunity with a different crypto here, digital asset strategy, Ton. So now let's get into a little more detail before I interrupted you. You were going for that.
No, absolutely. And spot on. We've admiring the BitMine team, for instance, BMNR. I think that's been the best performing one. I think they delivered something like a 15x in like 45 days. And, we are right behind them, basically.
Yep, that was the one that we really nailed, that BMNR. That was beautiful.
Congrats, right?
Yeah.
And so let me start why this is different and, maybe even more compelling, right? Number one, again, you have not heard of Ton, you have heard of Telegram. To give you a sense how huge this is, Ben, right? The Telegram is 1 billion monthly active users and the number 2 messaging app in the entire world after WhatsApp. In my humble experience, the first billion is the hardest, right? The plan is 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion, maybe 4 billion, right? This is an N of 1 asset run by an N of 1 founder. The founder of Telegram is the only living human being who's not only built an app that 1 billion people use every month. There's 5 or 6 others, but the only one of those who owns 100% of that company, right? And so he is not stopping, right? And so he has decided to keep the company private for the time being, but he has a blockchain called Ton. Ton was developed by the Telegram team. It is distributed by the Telegram team and natively integrated into the app. So if you, Ben, give me your Telegram handle right now, I can send you live on the show, basically Toncoin or US dollar stable coins or any other asset living on the Ton blockchain. And it's like Venmo, right? But it's global, right? And that is, I think, going to be the killer app. I mean, Bill Gates is very famous for saying, in the late 90s that content is king, right? And who am I to disagree with Bill Gates in the late 90s? I believe that content is king too, but distribution is the queen. And she's wearing the pants, at least in my household. The point is we've got distribution. And I think, I've got nothing bad to say at all against Ethereum and Solana, right? I'm a huge fan of both of them. I think the question here is more, which will it go to $1 trillion first? But if Ethereum goes to $1 trillion, it's only a 2x from here, right? And it should have happened here by now. And, Solana, so Ethereum is 50 times bigger than Ton, right? And Solana is 12 times bigger than Ton. Ton will end up with, in my judgment, more users than both of them, maybe combined, because we've got Telegram. I mean, Solana's got 15 million active wallets, right? Ethereum maybe 100, 200, but Telegram, is 1 billion, right? And that makes Ton special. That's number one. Number two, Ben, Ton is not yet available in the US. We're not yet listed on US spot exchanges, at least the largest ones. You know who they are. That's Coinbase, that's Robinhood. On Monday, Coinbase Ventures just announced an investment in Toncoin. And, I maybe leave it at that, right? So there's a lot of catalysts coming. We are and also just switched on the wallet live in the US. So and so you can literally take out the app and you can demonstrate it if you want. And then we're also not yet listed on the largest spot exchange in South Korea, which is bigger than Coinbase, right? So there's a lot coming, and it's hugely exciting for the Tron ecosystem, and we're just getting started.
All right. So okay. You made a mention here about doing something live on the show, so I'm going to take you up on that offer. Actually, I have a Telegram account, but I haven't used it in a long time. Let me see. Open the Telegram app. Go to settings. Okay, hold on a second.
Yeah, we can also do the next one, right? I mean, this is not going anywhere, but I have the offers there. No one should go empty-handed. I'll send you Toncoin before the end of the show.
All right. Anyway, I got to figure out how to do this. We'll see if there's time to end the show. I'm going to figure out how to log in. I was trying to do it with the QR code there. All right. So talk to me. I want to talk about revenue, profit, path to profitability. How's that work?
Well, think about this more like Bitmine, BMNR, right? Where it's a balance sheet company first, okay, right? Although there is a P&L and cash flow statement that comes from staking. I'll get to that as well. But, to just, since you mentioned it, right, dissect the Bitmine case study, right? I mean, they've frankly outdone Saylor at being Saylor, right? I mean, so it took Saylor, 5 years to get to 3.5% of the Bitcoin supply, right? Yeah. And it's been amazing, outperforming NVIDIA and the AI boom, right? And he's, of course, the winner in the Bitcoin space, right? And I think that's an important point to make. In my mind, this is a winner takes most game in terms of digital asset treasury companies. And doesn't mean the number two can't perform well, it can, but I think the number two Bitcoin treasury cannot catch up with strategy and Michael Saylor, right? And in Ethereum, of course, Bitmine is out executing the others, but there is a race, right? But what they've done, they've also, partnered with a Nasdaq listed company. And, basically that was S3 eligible for an ATM, same as us. And then they've basically done an ATM in size and bought Ethereum. Ethereum has doubled, great. But, the stock is up 15x because, we can raise capital at a premium to book and grow book value per share by buying more coin at book, right? And I think the underlying, it has more upside here than Ethereum. Again, for all the reasons I already mentioned. Happy to go to double click on that.
So can you, I'm trying to figure out how to, with BMNR, it was easy for us to look up the price of Ethereum. It's like in all the major brokers. Sure. I just checked Webull and I can't seem to find ton there. So
not yet.
Okay, so what's the easiest way for us to kind of figure out the price of ton and figure out
what the price of ton is roughly $3.50 per coin. It's roughly 60% below its all-time high still, right? And so that would be 2.5x to go back to its all-time high. Ethereum has just reclaimed that, as you probably know. You can look it up on CoinMarketCap.
Is this it?
Yeah, and if you look at maybe the 1 year chart or the sort of something like that.
There you go.
So we were at $8. This goes from 7, and we bottomed in March. I can explain what's happening here. But basically, to zoom out, right? I think number one, Bitcoin has outperformed altcoins for obvious reason that there was an institutional bid in Bitcoin, the ETF, but crucially also the treasury companies led by MicroStrategy, right? And we didn't have that in altcoins, especially until recently, but now we do, and you see what has done already to Ethereum, right? Now, secondly, all the new money that has come into crypto has come from the US, and TON has not been available in the US yet. And our company launched basically, or was reborn effectively on Nasdaq last week, and all these spot exchanges are yet to list Toncoin in the US. Right?
Okay, so how can we figure out your net asset value? A lot of these crypto companies, the treasury companies, they trade at a premium to net asset value, like MicroStrategy does, like BMNR does. What's the status of that? Are you trading at a premium now?
We do, but a modest premium. And I think, again, this is all public information. So I'll maybe save you the trouble to go through the filings. But let's say we own, let's call it just under 200 million coins. And you do the math, what that is, right? This has all been disclosed, how much we when we put the deal together last week. And so it's sort of, probably back of the envelope 1.5 or so times, which, frankly, BMNR was at the beginning as well, right? And, of course, the premium might sound scary because I don't want to pay a premium, right? But, it's a feature, not a bug, right? Because, if you are in the winner and in TON, there is no second best. Ton Treasury Company. There is no race here. Like, we're the only one, the first, the biggest. And even if there are others, which we welcome, by the way, we'll still be, sort of orders of magnitude larger, right? And I think that's really important, right? Because there's massive scale economies in raising capital, especially the cost of the capital. And, we're open for business. And now we're basically going to, follow the BM&R playbook, right? We're going to basically raise capital and buy more coin. And if you do that at a premium, raising the capital and buying the coin at book, we're growing book value per share, right?
Yeah.
And BM&R, I think, grew book value per share by 7 times or so in the first 30, 45 days. And again, we're going to release that periodically as well, like every week or so. And it's frankly not very complicated, of course, especially if you believe in Telegram and the underlying thesis and Ton, which I think is the most compelling thesis.
Yeah. So I'd like to talk about that a little more. Maybe you mentioned it, but I'm digesting a ton of new information here. So I'm finally caught up with you. All right.
Great.
I want to dig back into Telegram and the economics of Ton and why it has value and the use case of it in the platform. Can you dig into that and maybe in very simple terms, like someone who's never heard of this before?
Understood. No, look, this is very similar to Ethereum and Solana, and I'll try to break it down even simpler than that. Think about Telegram like almost like a digital nation, right, with 1 billion citizens, right, which is after all almost as big as the population of China or India, and frankly will be the biggest digital population on the planet potentially, right? I mean, at least the one that has a blockchain, right? And so Ton is basically the currency, for lack of a better word. It's as important to Telegram as the US dollar is important to the United States, right? And so it is the ledger that decides who owns what. Of course, who owns Ton coin itself, but also who owns dollar stable coins.
What are users doing? Like, I've been in Telegram, and it's like, it's a bunch of channels, and I get some news on it. So
no, it's much more useful.
How does it impact my life? Right, I go in. Maybe what? Let me share my screen for a second, if you don't mind. All right, I did figure out how to log into Telegram desktop, and there's nothing so private here, so it doesn't matter. Right. So,
great,
all right,
so
let's see.
We have go into the search bar.
Search bar, okay.
And you type in my handle, which of course I'm going to give away now. That is Hyla Komilus, the person who actually named America, and the reason why America is called America.
How do you spell that?
I'll spell that for you. That's HYLA COMY LU. Yeah, that's me. I'm just removing my paid. Normally I charge people to message me. Just say hi, right? Just say hi.
All right, hi. There we go.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I'm sitting right now actually in Europe, and I'm going to press 3 buttons, right? And I would call this almost Zuckerberg's wet dream, right? And I think this could be $1 trillion idea. Don't take my word for it, right? Consider Zuckerberg, right? At 1.8 trillion, hard to move his needle market cap. He thinks this can. And how did Tencent become Asia's most valuable corporation with $1 trillion peak market cap? Boom, there you go. So you're sitting on the East Coast probably. So now I send you to Bitcoin, right? And so you didn't have the wallet yet, you still don't, but now you have 3 clicks and you now it creates the wallet, right? And so again, this is a self-custodial wallet with the seed phrase, so you can put your email address and so forth. But I can send you stable coins, and so that's point 1, right? What are the use cases, right? Peer-to-peer money transfer, whether it's the underlying asset Ton or dollars, right? Of course, remittance is $1 trillion market. Payments is a lot bigger. There's $1 trillion of so-called mobile money in the world. This is SMS, not even smartphone. Dumb phones, 80% of that sits in Africa, 800 billion. That can go on the blockchain, right?
But then what are the users doing? This is it's like Venmo for Telegram? Like that's the use case?
Venmo is relatively small compared to this, right? Think about just to give you a sense of scale again, Ben, there's 5 apps in the world which are bigger than Telegram. Let's go through the list and ask the question, which of them are doing crypto, right? You got WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, so far not allowed. And you got 2 Chinese ones, Tencent, WeChat, ByteDance, TikTok, also not allowed. So Telegram is actually the biggest, the number 1 in the world. I'll send you dollars as well. So peer-to-peer money transfer, right? And you have a dollar account in your pocket. Now, for you, that's maybe not that special because you have a dollar account and you have crypto.
Can you buy anything with that in Telegram itself?
Yeah,
like
you can buy Toncoin. You can buy your username. You can actually own it. I own Manny, right? You could own Ben. I mean, Ben will be very expensive these days, right? Theoretically, you could own it.
So you could buy other people's usernames with Toncoin within Telegram.
Yeah, you could buy Elon, right? I mean, Elon will be like, probably 7 figures these days.
But then this cash, can I withdraw that to my checking account?
Yeah, of course. So basically there's on-ramp and off-ramp, right? So when you on-ramp in the US, it'll probably something like MoonPay today, where you can buy it on Apple Pay, right? And so not only is it, money transfer and, in dollars or, other currencies, you can, of course, have this is already going to be the biggest crypto wallet in the world, right? They onboarded 100 million users without trying the last 18 months because it's inside the app, right? Look, I love crypto, right? But do I want to have a bunch of seed phrases flying around and have a MetaMask wallet and pay gas fees and bridge to this join? I want to press buttons and expect it to work. The way you and I use the internet. If I use the internet, or my mother, which she does, she doesn't know which protocol is running in the background, right? Is it HTTP? You press buttons and it works, right? And also gaming, right? So you can own your in-game item, your character, you get the in-game currency. So this is, a really, really big deal. And I think the world hasn't really fully understood what's happening here. I'm very excited to share it with you.
It sounds very exciting. I mean, I gotta say, you gave us a lot of information very fast. You talk very fast, so that's great. So honestly, I'm not even sure I pretty much covered it. Let me say, there's comments here. Hold on. If anyone has questions, in whether you're watching on X or YouTube or whatever, put it in the comments. Love to hear from you. Questions, comments, whatever it is. Okay. But I'm out of questions. I just want to get to know you maybe a little more personally.
Explain how big this could be, right? I mean, I've been an investor. What's the old saying? Never trust a thin chef, right? A fat personal trainer or a poor investment manager, right? Yeah. So I've done well before I got into crypto or I got into Ton, right? And I've never seen the stars align in this constellation, right? We've got literally an Elon level founder, he's that good, right? Very hard to find, even harder to get partners, right? With such an he's done it once before, by the way. He built the biggest social network in Europe before. Then he built Telegram. Can he do it again with Ton? I think so, right? Now we have such an unfair competitive advantage. If you own the messenger, it's not a fair fight at all, right? And going after, it's a nuclear weapon. Ethereum, again, with Solana, they'll do fine. And I'll explain how I think it's going to play out. I think it's going to be like the Mag 7, right? It's not like, Apple ate Google's lunch and Google ate Facebook's lunch. Everything got bigger, right? If you believe like I do, whether it's 5 or 7, I can't tell you, but a single-digit number of trillion-dollar protocols, Bitcoin's a 2 trillion, right? And going higher. Ethereum is $500 billion, should be there by now, right? But it's only a 2x, right, to get to $1 trillion. Solana, maybe gets there first, that would be closer to a 10x. But Ton is embryonic, 50 times smaller than Ethereum and 12 times smaller than Solana. So if you believe, like I do, that Ton is in that $1 trillion club eventually, right? And look, and it might take 5 years or whatever, right? Who the hell knows, right? But then this is the one to rule them all, right? And it's kind of hiding in plain sight because of the fact that we are distributed via Telegram, the fact that we're not in the US yet, right? And $1 trillion is a $200 coin, right? We just we own over 200 million coins, so you can do the math, right? And I can go further, right? What we have an advantage of, over at least the Bitcoin companies, it's similar to Ethereum. We can stake, right? This is basically not only a balance sheet, hopefully with a multiple, but a P&L and cash flow statement, hopefully with a multiple, double that, right? And then not only will we stake, of course, our own coins and end up owning our own staking infrastructure, we can also, get all the other Ton holders, that's Sequoia, Benchmark, Ribbit, and the biggest back of Elon actually in as well, of course, my original firm. And then we can have keep those coins in our own custody and let the sort of staking yield, the gross to net, accrue in the Listco, right? And then maybe look, and I can't promise this, but think about stablecoin, right? I mean, this is of course trading well in the US equity market with Circle, right? And let's just say it's been discussed, right? Now this is Manny math, right? So take this with a grain of salt, but hear me out. $1,000 in your checking account, right? Even for the average Telegram user, keep in mind there are rich people like you and me, there's poor people in Africa on it, right? If the average Telegram user has an average $1,000 in its in the stable coin, 1 billion people times 1,000 is $1 trillion AUM business. And even at a 3% net interest margin, that would be 30 billion of cash flow a year. Now, even if you pay half of that to Telegram, what you would, right? Coinbase Circle, right? That's $15 billion of cash flow a year. So the founder of Telegram thinks we have maybe a $100 billion company to build. Maybe there's a $300 billion company built with 1 billion, right? So I'll stop here.
Okay. We have a question from the audience here. Can this be added to other platforms? Will it have an API?
Of course, yeah. So this Ton is called the Open Network, which is what Ton stands for, right? So of course, Telegram is a centralized company effectively, but it's also open. Of course, it's been accused of being too open at times, right? And of course, doesn't pursue censorship the way that Facebook or other platforms are doing it. And in the custodial wallet, you can buy Bitcoin, you can buy Solana, you can buy Ethereum, and we are cooperating with all of these, right? Effectively, right? But of course, in the Ton wallet, which is a self-custodial wallet, only Ton-based assets can live there. But of course, that's not only Ton, that's stablecoins on Ton, that's all the relevant NFTs. Telegram gifts are huge. So Snoop Dogg has basically sold Telegram gifts, and Telegram is the biggest sort of monetization surface that's sort of under-monetized. And it's frankly the biggest free speech platform in the world. It's like 50% bigger than X, right? And so video streaming is coming there as well. So hopefully we can do this next live stream on Telegram as well.
Oh, cool.
And so my point is like, I almost, think of Telegram like, if this is, Balaji Srinivasan, who wrote the network state, right?
Hold on. Rhett just popped in. Continue what you're saying, but
hey, Manny, how's it going? So quick question. So like, I'm here in the United States. So like, especially my generation nowadays, like I'm a younger man, where can we go in and buy this stuff in the United States today?
Well, you have to be a little bit patient to get it on the major platforms like Coinbase and Robinhood. You can also not get it yet on Gemini, but let's just say, we're working on all that. Right now, you can buy it in the app, and you will have to buy it via MoonPay. But that works with credit cards, so Apple Pay as well. You can buy it at blockchain.com. You can buy it at Kraken. Not in all states. In New York State, that wouldn't work. But, you just have to be. And my point is like there is a little bit more effort than buying Bitcoin or Ethereum today. But that means, the early bird catches the worm, right?
Exactly. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But by the way, big thanks to everyone who's reposting this. Our audience size has tripled during the show, which is people must like what you're saying. I don't think we've ever had this type of audience growth during the live interview. We usually build up the audience before the show, but this is growing like wildfire right now. So looks like people are interested in what you have to say. So Rhett's more of a crypto expert than me. That's why I asked him to jump on over here. So he may have some additional questions for you. In the meantime, another question just came in through the chat. Is there gas fees?
There is, yeah. But, what's important to understand is that this is a later generation blockchain. You can argue Solana is also later generation than Ethereum, right? And Solana has proven to be, super fast, right? Which is sort of the killer app for Solana. They're, dominating in meme coin trading or high frequency, right? And, Ton is also very fast, not quite as fast as Solana, but, maybe not necessarily noticeably. For high frequency, it will be noticeably slower. But it's been designed for scalability, right? Hundreds of millions of users on chain simultaneously because of, Telegram. That's the requirement. Plus, also a world of AI agents on chain. And I think we're ending up in a world where we'll have not only hundreds of millions of users on chain, but more AI agents and humans. And scalability, I think, will win the day here, right? Their gas fees are there, but they're, very, very, you can send what I just sent you like for a nickel across the world at the speed of light, basically already.
Awesome. Manny, some housekeeping I forgot to do at the very beginning. Where is this business located, VERB, physically, and where are you located?
Yeah, we're so VERB is a Nevada corporation, of course, listed on NASDAQ, and the management team is spread between the West and East Coast. So I'm based in London, but of course frequently traveling to the US. Yeah.
Okay, and what's the
program is a global. It's not this is again not only US, right? And keep in mind, right, 95% of the global population lives outside the United States. United States. Right?
And in terms of the size of the company, employees, with that legacy, what's the point of continuing to have that legacy business? Is it profitable? What's the plans for that?
Yeah, it's not quite profitable, but will be now profitable with the staking rewards. Staking rewards here are somewhere between 4 to 5%. You can do the math. If our treasury is like, I don't know, $700 million, 4% would be what, close to $30 million, right? So we had cash burn probably of 100K, like in sort of not even 7 figures a year. But this will be all dwarfed now. Like, what's the point? Look, we love the team. They've been terrific partners. They've, given us basically the springboard almost to do this Ton strategy. And there's exciting opportunities there. But of course, equally, I don't want to talk too much about the legacy business, given it's like, a fraction of a fraction these days of the value of the stock, right? And so that's really going to be not only, the Ton performance itself, MicroStrategy, 35x in a world where Bitcoin was 10x. So 1/3 of the return came from the spot underlying performance, but 2/3 actually came from the capital allocation, which is my job. And that's really what I want to focus on.
Manny, what type of operations or staff do you need to do the treasury strategy?
Very few. It's almost like building an asset management business. I've built a multi-billion-dollar asset management business from scratch. So, we have basically a SWAT team of like a handful of people who are, really, really strong. I'm effectively the executive chairman, right? So I make the big capital allocation decisions and also the capital raising decisions. We got a very strong CEO and CFO pair, Veronica and Sarah. We've kind of decided it needs one leader, right? I mean, ultimately, Michael Saylor is executive chairman of MicroStrategy. Tom Lee is the executive chairman of BitMine. So I'm the executive chairman of VERB, right?
Got it.
And I think, yeah. And but the one thing I would say though is, I don't think there will be one ecosystem that will have as big of an impact from the treasury strategy phenomenon, right? We already own more Toncoin as a percentage of the whole supply than Michael Saylor owns of Bitcoin. BitMine, big, hairy, audacious goal, 5% of the total Ethereum supply. Like, we'll get there first. It's
so in terms of catalysts that are coming up, we have the ticker symbol change, which I think will be nice. But what's the you should expect of additional purchases of Ton? How often are you going to PR those right away? In terms of capital that you're raising, is that just going to be from the ATM to do those? Give us some idea of because
sure,
I love catalysts and what we
so do I.
Yeah, I mean, that really keeps the momentum going for a stock. And BMNR has done a great job of that and being very transparent and quickly reporting everything they're doing. So what's your philosophy on that, and what can we expect in the coming months?
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, right? I think we're going to shamelessly, copy the best of the BMNR playbook, right? I think they're best in class in PR. We're just starting. This is part of it, right? Actually, the PR, right? I've never done like sort of big TV before, and I've now chosen to reluctantly, give up some of my well-earned privacy for the greater good, right? So there's going to be like 10 to 15 appearances in the next 2 weeks, right? And we're of course going to, really build the biggest megaphone for Toncoin. So that's number one. We're in the market with the ATM, right? So
10
we
to
can
15 TV appearances.
TV podcasts, like you just check
things like this. All right, you're getting on CNBC. Can we do that?
Yeah, so that's coming. We're looking at Squawk Box. Like, I mean, like this is like flooding the zone.
I mean, it's pretty big. A Telegram. Everyone should be interested in Telegram. You can get anywhere.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And you've only got one first impression in life, right? And so I think we all need to get this right. Transparency breeds trust. Absolutely. We will report, our open market purchases. As frequently as BMNR does. We'll have a very strong website there. We don't have an investor day. I'm available. You have me on Telegram, right? I'll have my own channel where I can post everything. The founder also has thrown his weight behind us. He's pretty serious guy. So that's kind of the first catalyst, right? Just the first impression. No one's ever heard of this, right, yet. Like, literally, and that's going to change pretty quickly, right? So that's one, right? And then again, you can sort of try to do the math here, but you saw Ton was at 820, 18 months ago, and now it's at 350, right? While Ethereum has already reclaimed the all-time high. Let's say that's the next pit stop, right? And so how are we going to get there? Again, I think it's just supply demand eventually, right? And of course we're one part of this, but there's also again catalysts coming in the listings of the U.S. stock exchange crypto exchanges, right? And the Korean ones for that matter, right? And we're going to do a global push focused actually on U.S. but also Asia Pacific, especially Korea.
Awesome.
And then I can keep going, right? But we have just an unfair advantage, I would say, given we have a messenger with 1 billion users that no one does. So
that's awesome. Sounds great. Beautiful interview. I mean, our audience surged to 1,800 people here, like more than triple, maybe quadrupled while we were interviewing you. So very interesting story. Glad we took the time to speak with you. And we are going to when Manny will join us on my stream. All right. Anyway, all right. We will keep tabs.
Volunteer. Like this is
we'll make the connections if there's other. Looks like there's other influencers watching us.
Stockholder. This is capitalism. Greed is good, right? This is like this is not also like the Ethereum Foundation became quite sort of kumbaya. Like this is different. Like,
all right, sounds great. We'll definitely keep everyone posted on your progress. Thank you so much, Manny.
Ben. Pleasure's all mine. Thanks for having me on. All the best.
Right,
Happy Friday.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, guys. That was the interview with Manny from VERB. Rhett, we gotta. It's always I always fumble the exit music on this, so I decided just not to do it this time, and you can add whatever you want to the
Yeah, that's fine.
the YouTube clip afterwards. But anyway, let me get my screen back up over here. So that was beautiful. VERB went up here, a bunch of candles during the show. I guess someone liked what they were hearing. 4,000. I don't have a state. I don't have position, by the way, right now, full disclosure, but it's something I'm going to be looking into now after I understand now what they're doing. But stock looking good. 30-minute chart looking good. 5-minute chart looking good. Daily chart looking beautiful. So we're going to add this to our watch list and see what happens with VERB. Okay. So while we're gone, let's see what happened with our top picks over here. UNH performing okay, bucking the QQQ trend. Wolf over here, hanging in there. Looked like it was about to break above that target. I'm looking at 930, but not quite yet. These are my two largest positions right now for the day. And BZI held that support perfectly at 381. Having a little trouble, though. It's not meeting my highest expectations of the day, but we held that support at 381. Got a little bit of a speculative bet in DJT today with the Trump-Putin meeting today and the purchases by Cantor Fitzgerald. 20 DMA here at 1789. It's above that now. Hit 1806. My target for the day is 1848 at the 50 DMA. Rhett, what's on your mind?
Nothing much. I actually exited some of my UNH calls, the majority of them around, I think it was like 305 once we got up in there. Saw some resistance coming in, so
yeah, I think I'm going to stick to the plan we had in pre-market. I'm going to keep this all day. By the way, I didn't get your take, Rhett. I know you jumped in and asked me a couple questions, but what was your takeaway from that interview?
Yeah, I think it's epic. I mean, especially with where our generation's going nowadays, I think it's one of those things. That's what it's going to come down to is like you're going to be on these apps and all that. Telegram is huge in that aspect where they have a lot of users. So they're going to be there's going to be a bunch of transactions through there. And I think once the thing is, it's early on an aspect of where, because it's not on Robinhood and all that, on all those other big ones. So it's one of those things to where it's like it's almost like buying XRP when it was 50 cents. So that's
are you buying this? Yeah, maybe I'll get a small amount for now, just a placeholder until I gain a little more confidence. The story is really new to me. I don't want to do it in my day trading account, so got to find the swing account here. But I'm going to grab just a small amount as a placeholder for right now.
But other than that, let's see what else is catching my eye at the moment. BZAI. Still holding BZAI at the moment. And then
oh, wow. We got to fix that. Fidelity actually does not allow purchases of VERB. If Manny's still listening, reach out to Fidelity. They have like they have like a fraud. I don't know what to call it, but they discriminate against certain tickers because they think they're high risk. So someone over there at VERB might want to reach out to Fidelity and figure out why they're not allowing purchases of that and try to get off that ban list over there. That'll definitely help the stock. I don't know if you knew that, but that's good information.
You gotta call in to buy it.
To pass on. Yeah, no one's gonna call in to buy it. You can call it. No, actually this one, no. This one I don't even think it works with a phone call. This one they have to get off of their ban list. So hopefully they can make that happen. All right. What's that?
I said they'll be able to with everything that's happening. So
yeah, it sounds legit, right? I guess maybe they had concerns with VERB before, but after this deal, maybe they'll allow that to trade on Fidelity. Very interesting. Okay. All right. Let's see here. I sold some Wolf on the way up. I haven't sold UNH yet. BZI, as I said, disappointing me. I'm looking for Kiev. Let me check. What's my cost basis on these DJTs? Let me see. DJT. Oh, wait a second. I thought I bought the $18 calls. Oh no, I bought the $17.50 calls. Oh.
And the other good thing too about ton coin is the supply is only 2.5 billion, so I like that a lot.
Yeah. Pretty interesting stuff. Dude, I'm liking this UNH, man. Let me see how my call options are doing on UNH. UNH. Wow, up 78%. I'm up 78% on the UNH call options. And I haven't sold yet. And I don't want to sell. I'm not going to sell. I'm sticking to our plan. Sticking to our plan to hold this all day long. That was a huge. How do we get this huge audience? Maybe one
Big
day.
following.
VERB has a big following.
Huh?
VERB has a big following.
Toncoin.
Toncoin. Oh, I never heard of it. I never heard of it until this interview. So, but
We'll
it's obviously huge because I have heard of Telegram and I know how big they are. So
yeah, we'll send it to I'm going to send this once we get off here to one of my big friends that's a huge whale in XRP. So we'll get his take on it and then go from there because he nailed these moves in Ethereum recently too. So he's a really good crypto trader in that aspect.
Nice. All right. Any comments, questions here in the chat? Let me know. We'll hang out for a few more minutes, and then we'll go to.
If there's any other tickers you guys want us to check out, put it in the comments, and we'll look at those now.
Yeah, and then after that, we're gonna do our new routine, which is. I'm just reading the messages in the Discord. Which is focusing on this new channel. This is what I do. There's a lot of channels in the Discord, by the way. We have a lot of content. We have The Godfather Knows. We have Dougie Picks. We have Laptop Travel, Kyle Adams. There's something for everyone in there. Where I've been recently focusing a new channel called VIP Top Trades, which is the trade ideas from our morning note. In fact, see what it looks like. So this is the morning note. Talk about yesterday's performance, macro discussion. We get into geopolitics and new catalysts from Trump world. Then we get into what's that?
So I'm saying CCIR right now.
And we get into other proximal catalysts, earnings, economic data of note, and then specific companies all here. And then we get into our top trade ideas. You can see here very specific, detailed information on not only technicals, but the psychology of this and the psychology of why technicals will break or hold support. That's all discussed here. UNH, BZAI, Wolf. What we do is very different than I would say 95% of traders. We're not pure technical traders. We're not pure fundamental investors. We are story traders. Very unique process where we look at a catalyst and we make qualitative bets. All right, not quantitative, but we qualitatively determine the impact the catalyst has on a company. We look at what's the impact of the catalyst on sentiment, what's the impact on technicals, what's the impact on fundamentals. And after we have an understanding of all that, then we say, okay, therefore, the net reaction of market participants will be to take the stock up, to take the stock down, and then we triangulate with the chart to try to quantify where the stock can go up and down. And then that's where we look for. It's called active re-rating. So not a day trader in that I'm not trading chop. I'm not trading volatility. And I almost never trade stocks that don't have a catalyst, a proximal catalyst. Either the catalyst was within the past 48 hours or catalyst is expected in the next 48 hours or maybe 72 hours, right? I'm only trading those stocks because I'm not trying to trade technical volatility, and I'm not trading technical breakouts. I'm trading market psychology, predicting what the market will do based on a catalyst, and we've been wildly successful at it. I'm up 400% year to date. Many people in our community are up much higher than that, especially options traders, because what we do is best suited for timing markets. We time markets. We predict what stocks will do in the next 12 to 24 hours, and that's really good for options. Personally, I don't take advantage of that as much as I should, but in any case, our track record is absolutely insane, especially since the last 2 weeks. We opened up a new channel in our Discord only to trade these top ideas, okay? Now, this list is released before 7 a.m. each morning, but it is subject to change based on our 9 a.m. show, and if there are changes, we'll notify the Discord for people who can't watch the live show. We'll notify them of the changes, and then we'll rank like the top 5 picks, and especially focus on what is the number 1 pick of the day. Okay. And then we have our Discord channel where it's focused only on trading these top picks. And people have been absolutely killing it since we opened the new Discord channel with a focus on the top picks, because without that focus, you can tend to get distracted, get FOMO, things like that, because there are tons of things happening all day long. Like, someone mentioned Lyft. Usually, if there's a catalyst in the middle of the day, we'll capture that in the next morning note. And if the catalyst is strong enough, then it could be good for a move on day 2. Not to say we don't trade catalysts in the middle of the day, we do, but those are usually smaller size. And we talk about it in our VIP trading room, not in this new top picks trading channel. So that's what we're going to, right? As soon as we hang up over here, I'm going to go into that top picks trading room, and I'm going to collaborate with everyone. It's a discussion format. It's collaboration. All right, look at this DJT working out, getting to my target. Another call that working out. But I'm going to collaborate with them. Unlike a lot of Discords, I'm not telling people what to do. I'm making my predictions on what can happen, and then we collaborate as a community on how to execute on that. So in any case, Rhett, it's been a beautiful morning. This DJT, I'm really excited about this one working out. I almost picked up the $18. Actually, did I pick it up in my Webull? I thought I did. Hold on a second. Let me just see something before we let you guys go. No, I didn't. All right, I just picked up the 1750 calls for next week on DJT. I kept it very conservative, but I can't tell you how many people they bank on my calls on short-term call options and 0 DTEs, because like, Ben, your target's hit like 90% of the time, but yeah, we'll see.
One we should keep on our radar right now is the KYIV.
Yep, that's going to be that's a top pick. Our top picks for today are UNH, Wolf, BZAI, and KYIV. Those are the top 4, and then we had a bunch of ancillary speculative picks, which was a DJT, INTC, and I forgot the other. But I usually don't focus on these ancillary ones. It's just there for people who want to trade them. But look at this new high of day on UNH, looking great. DJT heading to the target. Yes, Kiev is going to be probably a focus of the afternoon. And with that, we're out of here. If you want to join our amazing community, the best Discord community ever, by far. We have tons and tons and tons of testimonials coming in every day, tons of screenshots, people making sick money. If you want to join us, head on over to storytrading.com. We'll see you in our Discord.
And use code MorningNote for 10% off recurring.
Morning Note, 10% off. Take care, guys.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.